Good afternoon, Stefan.
Hello, my dear friend Billy.
How
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm good today. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And good morning, good afternoon, or evening, or wherever you are, if you're watching this live in the world or on another planet.
I just want to bring that up wherever you are in this universe. Welcome to the show.
So last week we had a special guest, or a surprise guest actually, and I think that went fairly well. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. We had some good feedback on that one. So um, I guess you would assume we might do this again.
Good assumption.
So good assumption. So who might it be this time?
Well, we have someone that has been in crypto since 2013.
So let,
This
let me guess. Sam Bankman-Fried. Am I
he didn't
close?
he didn't get his internet connection, so he couldn't make it.
Damn.
Yeah, so no, not him. He has founded, at least three businesses I can think of, all
Donald
involved
Trump.
in it. I'm
Donald
sorry.
Trump. Donald Trump.
He also has lost his internet connection. Had it removed from him. And this. Okay, let me see if you can get it. Another clue is it's kind of more local to us. So sorry for the international crew, but Swiss. Well, Swissy kind of origin, but I think he hops around the world these days. But Lika, Trust Square, Flovtech, all founded or co-founded by this individual. Any idea?
I can make an assumption. Maybe his first name starts with an A, and the second name might be G. Am I on spot?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Sounds like a disappointment, yeah.
Of course not. Yeah,
Happy to have you on the show.
that's not what I asked. Yeah, great to have you here, Anton. And not so long ago, actually, we all saw each other last week in Zurich and Zug.
Yes, we saw each other. It was very nice. Just to tell you, the moment you said, I thought you would say somebody who ran a market making company in a crypto exchange. I thought that SBF would be definitely a good fit, but haven't run failed the market making and for crypto exchange. So lovely to be with you guys. Thanks a lot. And Bill, it was great seeing you last week. Even though in Switzerland it was very much the Dubai vibe with Ralph and Saker and Faisal coming from. UAE bringing crypto aces. So, and glad to be on the show today. So hopefully, you get good positive feedback again. Yeah.
I think we will do. I mean, we'll touch on last week and maybe a little bit later and what we all thought about that. Because I think it was very positive. But the other thing that, of course, I mean, Anton, you and I, although we've sort of not known, but we've crossed each other's paths. More recently, we've got a bit closer, got to know each other a bit because of Swiss Asset DAO. And certainly that is, you and I, as I say, have been talking a lot more recently about this with others and other founding members of Swiss Asset DAO. And I think it's a great thing. And that's another reason why, apart from your fantastic personality and what you bring to the show, I thought you might want to come and, tell us and tell the audience a little bit about it, really. Stefan, do you know what we're talking about?
I've an idea what a DAO is. I had some touch points, but I'm super curious to dive deeper into the topic, and I might come up with some questions later on that not everyone would like to hear, or some assumptions and some experiences that I made. But so that's why I'm super curious to hear about what is Anton, what you're up to, and what is the Swiss Asset DAOs up to. And what you're bringing to the table. So maybe you start first, and then I'm coming up with the dirty, nasty questions. And
He's going to come and try and punch you and probably me around a bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's your typical style.
Far away, yeah. Far away at the moment.
He may have the glasses on to try and look smart, but he just uses he punches before he thinks.
Okay, good.
Go on, Anton.
Yeah. So. First, I have to tell you, Will, you are blowing my story up now because I go around and I tell everybody we know each other for years. So you just ruined my story.
Well, we do know each other for years, but no, we have known each other for years, but we've coming closer together with Swiss Asset DAO over the last few months.
Yes, but the stories that I have been telling you and I go way back, that we're like this, that we have,
You said
together.
Oh, you said don't tell anyone that.
We don't tell that to anyone. Okay.
No, you told me. You said
you
said don't.
Actually,
yeah.
when I think about it, I see you for the first time. I mean, so
You said you wanted us to be more seem more impartial. You said.
Yes. Yeah. No. I think I like to surround myself with known people. Actually.
No,
that was all about decentralization. But when you look at the team, I realize they're not really decentralized.
Yeah. If everyone knows we've known each other for years, they're going to think that's not very decentralized.
I mean, look. First, I think it's very important that whatever we're trying to build in the crypto industry goes in line with the values of the industry, which is very much focused about decentralization, which is the most important innovation of our ecosystem, of our community. Actually, kind of when you think about it, I think FTX was not a big innovation. Market making, as much as I like it or don't like it, I like it actually. I don't think it's a big innovation, but having decentralization as a founding principle for whatever we do, I think that's really what we can bring to the table, And I think, Stefan, you kind of asked what are DAOs, or you might ask what are DAOs, or I might say what are DAOs. The easiest way I would kind of describe them is that DAOs are entities that are governed in a fully decentralized manner, where the community decides where the project and the protocol or the entity itself goes, and hopefully you do it through through decentralized means of governance, hopefully on chain, transparent, visible to everyone, recorded for the whole eternity. So this is kind of how I would explain DAOs. We are Swiss DAO, so that's why you have Swiss. And the asset part, I think we can touch upon later. It's revolves around real world assets. So this is kind of how I would give a short introduction to what Swiss Asset DAO is all about.
But I mean, as you said, like people need to agree to a certain extent. So how do you make sure there's not too much friction, or that the people answer in due time, or vote in due time? So how to make sure you have this activity in place?
Yeah, so first, I mean, just to say is that now running a DAO, I mean, we have been, Swiss Asset DAO is actually very young, but we have been doing it for some months now. And Will was really a big support for Swiss Asset DAO since the first day. Kind of what I can tell you, the difference between running a DAO and a normal shareholding company. So this is your AG or GmbH, kind of in your German Swiss language. It's, I have to say the difference is that things are kind of move a lot slower because when you have a company, when you are the founder, the owner, the big shareholder, you can basically make decisions very quickly. But if we are talking about decentralized means of governance, then it means a lot of education, a lot of building trust with your community members, also a lot of discussions, proactive, constructive discussions, and then in the end, a vote which determines kind of in which direction the DAO goes. So I can tell you that my experience has been amazing. I mean, amazing from a perspective that I learned a lot about how DAOs operate in the last months. And they operate a lot slower than startups, let's say it like that. But they operate, in my experience, but maybe Will can say, they operate a lot more transparent and a lot more inclusive of what the members, the majority members or the 2/3 of the majority kind of feel about. So this is kind of how I see it a little bit. But obviously it's a big learning experience for me as well, because I've never done, I've done many startups, quite a few, but this is the first time I'm running a DAO together with the community members, and it's been an amazing experience. So hopefully this answers a little bit. And Will, please jump in.
Yeah, no, I'm aligned with what you say there, and it's my first time too. So although I've been involved in more democratic kind of, should we say, flatline organisations, and to actually have this experience in as a DAO it's new to me too in that sense, and I agree. It is a bit slower, or even quite a lot slower, because you do have more people involved and you have to get consensus, and that doesn't always come quickly. And then, we're working our way through this, aren't we, Anton? I think things. If you look at how maybe some of the DAOs work with should we say like layer ones, for example, or they have to put deadlines on the voting. And that's something I think that we've got to start thinking about, because otherwise, you got to push back. So, well, you weren't, someone didn't vote in time, and they say, well, I wasn't around. You can say, well, it's not really our fault. We had enough time here. We generated enough noise, and all these learnings. And that's just one small part of it. So yeah, but it does take a bit longer. It's not like you've got 3 or 4 guys or a board or 2 founders saying, oh, should we do this? Let's do it. And you can just it's pretty much instantaneous. It's like, we need to think about time zones, because also, right, Anton, there's many people, not everyone here in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you make a very good point. Like talking about the inclusivity of a DAO, we actually have members from around the world, right? And in the end, I have to say that what's very important is that Swiss Asset DAO has a legal grounding, because it's incorporated as a Swiss association, which is a very specific type of entity that actually has members. So equivalent to like a DAO that has a member, associations have members, and then the members decide how the DAO is governed and how it makes its key decision. This is a big difference from most DAOs, because a lot of people don't know that most DAOs are actually set up around the globe, but in Switzerland as well, as foundations. And at the foundation, you have a board or a council, and that board can decide whatever they want, regardless of what the members want. So there is no members in foundations, actually, but there is in associations. Hence, when we were, really remember this story, when we were deciding how do we incorporate Swiss Asset DAO, we said, look, if we want to have the principles of decentralized governance by members, then we have to incorporate as a Swiss association, and not as a foundation where the council or the board decides whatever the hell they want.
Right. Yeah. And look, if you look on the screen here, this is the website. You can see like anyone can come and join these workstream community, a community building, for example, which we had yesterday. I had to listen to that one, so I was busy on a train, couldn't get involved. But you can come in and talk, and you can just watch it. And again, you see, Tuesdays we have legal work streams, we have ethics, and the members that are coming on board have expertise and are professionals in those various fields.
Quick one. I like how you're advertising the Swiss Asset DAO as the best thing that could be there on the planet.
Of course.
Swiss cheese, Swiss chocolate, Swiss Asset DAO, right?
Swiss what you forgot Swiss watches, because we're always on time and we all moved to Switzerland. So, but the thing is like, yeah, I'm wearing a Garmin, so but never mind about that one. So, no, but the thing is like from what I've seen and what you spoke like from the centralized organization of a foundation. My experience with DAOs is, or what I've seen over the past is like everything, and I don't want to disturb your romantic view, but everything starts like as a decentralized organization where everyone is fully engaged, and then all of a sudden or down the road engagement gets lower and lower or diminishes. So start with that question, or my question on that point is, how do you make sure to keep people, or what is the strategy of the DAO to keep people engaged on the long run?
Yes. Look, you make a very good point. And I think, just from my experience, kind of seeing how the DAOs operate, I think what you are also hinting at a little bit is the phenomenon of actually oversaturated, let's say it like that, voting requirements for the members of the DAOs. So if you come to DAO members and then tell them, will the logo be red color or green color? Will it have circles or will it have a cross, Or when you too much engage the community with points that are maybe not the most relevant for the key decision making of the DAO, then obviously you get lower and lower engagement, because I can just imagine myself if I was asked on it as a DAO member on any single decision that I would like which marketing intern do we hire, which developer do we hire. I would not want to make those kind of decisions as a member of the DAO. But this is now where we have the ability of a bit of a freedom from a legal perspective, is to define what key decision making is actually done by the members, and which part is delegated to the board, and which part is delegated to operational management. And this is, I'm so happy how Will is already super trained as a DAO founding member. So he was going through that table that actually defines kind of what within the context of the Swiss Association, the members decide.
Yeah, well, can you elaborate on this point a bit deeper? Like, how does your DAO differentiate itself also with a backbone of being a Swiss association versus others? So where you see like, okay, this is a difference, and that's flaws that we might have seen or that we see with others, and that's something we can do better within this current structures. And actually, I like that you're not going with every decision like, what colors are we using? Is it red? Is it blue? Is it black?
Yes.
Who gives a shit about that? So no, but so how basically is that structured within your organization, and where do you see the benefits?
Yes. Look, I mean, just to say is that, again, like most of the DAOs, in my experience, are set up as foundations. You have a board of a council, and they decide kind of how the DAO or the foundation itself operates. They actually have one benefit there within the foundation model is that you have a purpose of the foundation, and that purpose cannot be changed actually, which is very much in line how would you think about, DAOs or projects who are run on DAOs, that they have a very clear purpose and they stick to it, right? That's not the case in the association model. In the association model, the members can even change the purpose, which is actually mind-blowing, right? You can literally, that means you can literally pivot a DAO in the startup language, right? Which is, I think, maybe you can argue that's maybe not the best solution, but it's kind of like a trade-off between, how much we enable the members to decide and how much, operational efficiency do we have. For instance, that's the part where I personally kind of noticed even before, and I kind of said, wow, that's a bit wacky, right? That members can literally change the purpose of the association, which kind of would not feel very naturally to me. But on the other side, what I really like about Swiss associations is actually they can be, so foundations are non-profit, and then that ruins a lot of things for DAOs who are run as foundations. But Swiss associations can be non-profit, or they can actually conduct commercial activities. So that means you can actually offer products, you can make money, that's all fine, but you cannot distribute a dividend. So that cannot happen in a association. You cannot, or there's no shareholders, so they cannot, sell their shares or sell their memberships to someone else at a profit, So this is the part where, and I think just to tell you, like the famous example of an association that's run super successful is actually Rolex. So Rolex, talking about Swiss, okay, it's not Rolex, it's over there. Talking about, successful examples of association that has a commercial activity is Rolex, actually. So super good. I think it's like an awesome example. But Stefan, I think you make a great point. Is like nothing is perfect in the end. This is also my experience in general in life. So it's always a trade-off. But I think what really was so important for me personally is that we live and work and die, but hopefully not die, in lines with the values of our industry, which is decentralization, that the members actually decide. Now, if the members want to decide and pivot Swiss Asset DAO to Swiss Watch DAO, I mean, so be it, but maybe I'm not then the right fit for it, So let's say it like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But you need to tell me if this makes sense or not, yeah.
No, for me is, I mean, I like to see you and the Swiss Asset DAO become a success. So it's more like I'm just telling you from what I've seen from my experience, and I'm always like to hear people trying to tackle things differently and trying to improve, derive from their learnings. I mean, you had your experience within the crypto space or the broader crypto space or Web3 space, whatever we would call it now. But so I'm always happy to see new ideas, new structures, new opinions. So I like things to flourish within the space. But I'm also here like to challenge people's thoughts, which helps me, and also I guess or might be like some value for you or for our listeners to hear like, okay, hey, what is it you doing different? Yeah. So why should I go, or why should I engage more with a Swiss Asset DAO versus with all the other DAOs that are out there where can also have an impact. So I think that's also like so that's why I'm always like to delve a bit deeper as much as we can within our given time restrictions.
On that note, I mean, look, this is a great subject. So, and quite frankly, everyone is free to do what they like and switch off. So I think we can roll on. I mean, we've said 15 because actually the reason we said 15 was the first one we tried, Anton, was half an hour, and we struggled a bit. So we said, okay, let's do 15. So it's not a hard fast rule, and we can vote on that. Who wants more time? So got a comments, but I can't see the comments. Well, look, I think let's just maybe this has been great. I think if anyone wants to dig deeper in, I've shared the website in the comments. Anton, you can go and look at those comments, and if anyone has any more questions, the great thing about LinkedIn being B2B is anyone can type some questions, and we can go in and later and have a look at those and answer them. All the profiles are there for all of us here, including Anton. Also on the website, the Swiss Asset DAO website, are links to the Telegram channel and things like this, where you can also get involved. Is there anything, I mean, stay with us, Anton, for now, if you've got time, but is there anything else you want to mention about Swiss Asset DAO?
Yeah, I have a really challenging question for Stefan. I mean, are you a founding member, or what did I miss here? What do you mean if I decide to engage with Swiss Asset DAO? How is that application going from your side?
So the thing is, like, I was a bit late. I must say. So, but I'm happy to be engaged. I think it's something great. What you guys are up to. I support you big time. Yeah. So, but I'm the one in this round that is currently, as of now, still an independent one. Like as two-thirds of this round is actively involved in the Swiss Asset DAO. I'm the one that's not. So guess who the two.
So you're a devil's advocate. You're the one.
You're the devil's advocate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, like last time I think I was wearing the same shirt, a similar shirt.
You were wearing that Solana shirt. Yeah. It smells a lot now. Huh? You've had that on a week. You've had that a whole week on.
To that, and I'm telling you, I'm also not or haven't been the biggest fan of Solana, but I've seen like just recently some traction there.
We were talking about that, weren't we? Both of us were saying we weren't the biggest fans, but we're seeing a lot of traction, and actually there's some great stuff coming through now, and I think we're going to see a load from Solana. So yeah.
No, so it's not like we're in general negative. It's just like we like to challenge assumptions, as we also think like there's a benefit for everyone involved. As mentioned, Swiss Asset DAO might take something out of it. I'm taking something out of it for sure, and our audience might do as well. So yeah. So
look, the other thing we like to say, and Anton knows this, and because Anton's one of us, we're actually, all of us work in the business. We're not influencers. We don't make media for our living and everything like this. So we're not journalists, and that was kind of why we started this live stream, because, well, as far as I know, I don't really see many people doing a similar thing, and we were having conversations at conferences and talking about, and people said, "Hey, wouldn't it go on?"
And something we haven't mentioned in the beginning of this call, which we mentioned last time when I was wearing the Solana shirt. So we're not financially incentivized by So we're not financially incentivized to bring Anton on the show. So just bring that up. So there's
no financial incentives. We're not getting paid anything. We don't have sponsorship, and that's another thing apart from us being in the business. Which is actually why it's worth noting that whatever any of us say here is representative of personal opinions. They're not the opinions of necessarily organisations we work or have or are working for, just to make that point. So we also want to bring that freedom to this stage as well. But thanks to Coda, that's the NFT marketplace on the Polkadot for a fantastic t-shirt.
Awesome.
No, I've had that a while now from
it's a great piece. So what Bill is actually saying, if you have some swag, send it our way.
But we won't. But you can't sway us on our opinions. But we'll happily, if we like it, we might show it.
I mean, as I guess, like with Drifting Life and Ride, I guess we are coming to the end.
Yeah.
So
anything hot? Hot.
Yeah.
Anything hot? Anything this week that's been hot for you guys, or anything that's just popped? I've got one thing that's kind of on my mind, but I'll maybe let you guys say, unless you want me to jump in.
No, I'm more curious about Anton's opinion, like as you have been at the Web3 Fest last week. So what was your opinion on that? Where's going, like for everyone that hasn't been there? What are your takeaways?
So maybe I'll try to be provocative here. The biggest difference that I saw is actually in the mentality and the vibe of the people who came to the conference. The guys from Dubai were telling me, we have the tallest building in the world. We have the biggest port in the world. We build a palm, actually island, this looks like a palm. Now we're building another one. Let's build the biggest thing, whatever you want to build. Let's, take this to the moon.
Yeah.
And then I speak to a lot of my friends. I mean, not you actually, not you two, but I speak a lot to with my friends.
So we're not your friends? That's what you're saying?
You are my friends, but you don't.
Okay.
You don't.
But not these particular friends.
But not these particular friends, exactly. When I speak to a lot of people in Switzerland, nobody's telling me, Anton, let's build the biggest DAO on the planet.
No.
And the vibe and the mentality and the vision, and you can argue if the vision is good or not, or if they do it or not do it, that's a different story. But I think the difference in mentality that you saw between people who reside in Dubai, and a lot of them are Swiss residing in Dubai, and us in Switzerland, I kind of couldn't help to notice, that there's something different there. And I'll give you one. I'll close it with one remark. As I was, as we were, during the conference, Ralph Glabishnik finished one of the panels with he finished basically saying, Habibi, come to Dubai. And at the same day, you had in the newspaper saying, kein 10 Millionen Schweiz. No, we don't want Switzerland with 10 million people. Yeah. And for me, the difference in the vision and the vibe and the mentality was particularly intriguing, let's say it like that. So I'll end it with that, which because I just found it very that was in the newspaper, it's not so much related to crypto, but it's just, I kind of find it's odd what's going on.
It's very much a cultural thing, as you say. It's not just related to crypto. I mean, I've been to Switzerland now nearly 10 years, but from London, it's a different vibe completely. London probably has a similar kind of go get it, let's make it happen vibe to Dubai to a certain degree. Stefan, I know you've come, I'll let you say with you, because it's not for me to tell people where you're from. But certainly I feel that it's the same like if you went from New York to here, or you went from, even Singapore to here to a certain degree, maybe less so, but it's just the Swiss way to a certain degree, and that rubs off on the way that things happen. I had to, I'll be open, when I first moved here from London over 9 years ago, I was like this, probably seen as this crazy, I probably still am by certain people, but like crazy, like enthusiastic energy.
Let me unmute myself. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah. But I mean, but I'm so enthusiastic about what we do, and I find it really hard to. And I had to sort of sometimes in certain situations, depending on who it is I'm with and where they're from. Apart from putting a suit and a tie on, I have to sometimes just drop it down a little bit, be a little bit more conservative, and kind of curb my enthusiasm for the business, because it can be actually seen not in the way I'd like it to be seen. And I don't know if that sort of touches on what you're saying there, Anton.
Yeah, it does. And again, I'm not making a point about the Swiss tech, fintech, Web3, crypto ecosystem people at the conference. I think that's not my point. But I just found it very interesting to see the contrast. The juxtaposition of the two. Yeah.
Exactly. Interesting.
And who is more right? I mean, both countries are very successful. It's both are beautiful places. One have the desert, the other have the mountains. I mean, which one you like more? I don't know. This is all a personal opinion. But I'm also reflecting a little bit, because I want to be challenging and provocative. Let's think long term. How this mentality will reflect on us as an industry, as people and individuals who want to be part of both countries, probably.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, let's be real. I mean, a lot of that kind of solid stability and that building out structures and doing things in a kind of more considered long-term vision way is also what attracts many people and industries to Switzerland, and has attracted them to Switzerland. But I do understand what you're saying from the two different kind of mentalities. I mean, you've got that older way of doing things, more established way of doing it. And of course, where you've got the Middle East and Dubai, they're fresh at it. I mean, like, yes. Go back and look at where the cities were 10, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, so you've also got that kind of attitude or culture. So I think maybe a blend of the two and bringing the two together could be positive. They can complement each other.
I think.
And then we have Crypto Oasis. You say Ralph and Sakir and all the boys and girls and everyone on the teams that were there last, and that was very much my takeaway was creating an ecosystem, like-minded people. We may have maybe different ways of going about things, but we ultimately have the same vision and want to do the same things.
Yes, yeah. And
Stefan, anything to say to that?
I just enjoy listening because I think like I mean if we're looking at the Mid East, I would describe it as technically the best of the two worlds. I mean if I'm looking into the US, super fast, high risk taking. Less sustainable. I'm just reflecting my personal opinion, and if I'm going to Switzerland, it's way more conservative. Takes longer time to build a relationship. I mean, I'm talking now like locals, and so currently I'm seeing if I'm going to the Middle East, technically it's like we have a melting pot in a positive sense with multiple of cultures that are mixing and co-mingling. And so currently my opinion is like where do you see the most traction? It's obviously also due to the money inflows is Mid East, a lot of traction there. I'm not saying win or lose, but I see like personal opinion, everything to its own. Everything has pros and cons, and then it's like where do you feel best, or where do you feel most valued in terms of the business idea or your thoughts that you might want to bring out there. So yeah, in general I agree with you. So boom, done. I could have put it in one sentence.
Hey, look, just this is going really well. It doesn't feel like you've done the time, and it's going so fast. You're having a great conversation, right? Just on that note, one thing I think before we just go on to sort of next events and things happening is that what did happen this week, and it's actually tied to something that brought me into blockchain technology, whether it was 16, 17 when I was working shipping and trading, was when I saw the smart contracts. I thought that could solve a lot of problems we had in shipping and trading. Old things like letters of credit and bills of lading and all this technical stuff that could be done, and multiple other things. What's happened, what actually happened in the summer, but what actually happened this week, and I think this is going to have something that blockchain technology will be able to finally get involved in after this. And let me show you a screen, because it'll be easier, from a publication. And I'm going to be really quick, is that the September 20th, which was only yesterday, was a landmark date, and I'll just read it out, for digitization of trade. Digitization of trade. Because the UK's Electronic Trade Document Act came into effect, and that is giving paperless versions of documents, such as bills of lading I touched on there, the same legal standing as their physical counterparts. This is something that's actually been preventing digital technologies, such as blockchain, coming into this business, into global trade. Now, you may say, okay, this was the UK, but this is something important here, and this is also something I know from 20 plus years of being in the business. A lot of the jurisdictions, legal jurisdiction, that contracts within shipping and trading and commodities and trade finance fall under UK law. So actually, although this is a UK act, it will have repercussions globally. What does that mean for us in blockchain and other technology is that because of those documents, those digital trade documents are now on the same standing as physical paper ones and old ones, we can probably see more blockchain technology or great use cases for trade, whether that be documentation, traceability, so you can have fraud and this kind of thing. And even to a certain degree later on, things like stable coins for payments and payment systems. This is opening the door to just a little bit closer to allow that to happen. So there you go. That's kind of one of my, from inside the business kind of point of view. It's a small thing. It's a segment I think that's going to be great for the blockchain. Is going to have a great impact on. And anyone that wants to kind of look further into that, who may be interested in that segment for use of blockchain, it's the UK's Electronic Trade Documents Act, and there's loads of stuff, you can Google it. So that's just what I want to say there. Anyone else got anything you want to add before we talk about events and things?
Just some quick news, and I'm really making it super short. Like I think we talked about it like 3 weeks ago. The winner of the week. I think back then it was Coinbase. Coinbase Base, yeah. So another blockchain has tremendous traction on this week. I think more traction than
Base, yeah.
Base, yeah, the Base, bass drum.
Your only friends is back again with them, right?
Exactly.
Only friends?
I mean, it's close to it, man. It's friends.tech. So friends. is driving the most of the volume on Base. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical on that one. But nonetheless, more traction currently than Ethereum on a daily base. Again, like driven purely by FriendsTech, my observation. But also more TVL than Solana. So if you put this in comparison, and again, like it's just like I feel like I'm advertising Solana. I'm dropping too many times the name, but I'm not. So so that was it. And then we see like the robustness of the markets in general. So looking at the crypto markets, Fed decision out yesterday, and it hasn't really impacted so FOMC, that would be correct. FOMC decision out yesterday, and there hasn't been like a lot of impact in the market, like short-lived one, yes, but it shows like robustness of market and development of the market. So boom, I'm done.
Anton, anything?
I was provocative enough with my statements around the mentality.
Oh yeah, that's the Swiss. Yes. What's better, Swiss cheese or UAE cheese?
Yes, but let me say one thing that kind of stuck in my mind actually this week is like with regards to Binance. I mean, SEC came out and said they didn't deliver enough documents for the case that they are planning against them, and I just thought for a moment, I was like, wow. They're going after CZ for 6 years. They want to take this guy down, and the only thing they have after 6 years is that he hasn't produced enough documents. I thought, like, come on, this must be a complete joke, actually, yeah? And, I mean, I don't know, talking about exchanges, if you ask me on 1st of November how good FTX was, I will probably say something very stupid. So we'll not, talk about how good or not good Binance is. But I just kind of stuck with me, like, after 6 guys, the only thing they have on this guy is that he didn't produce enough documents. So we're a funny industry, let's say it like that. Yeah.
Usually they get the guys on taxes. That's what usually the US is doing. Like that's what we're seeing with all the crime lords. FTX, we might see some positive surprises. Currently, from what I've heard, just rumors, so not verified yet. It's people might get a refund on the dollar of 60 cents, which I really think like that's a super positive one. I would have assumed like it would be like zero.
Yeah.
That would be that's why I'm saying 60% is a positive note, yeah, because it always depends like on where you come from, what your expectations are. So FTX, we might like or remember me that I'm next time for the next show next week I'm wearing my some Binance swag, because Binance seems to be always a topic. So I'm wearing some Binance swag, and we might get someone from Binance, maybe CZ on the show.
CZ is listening.
Send the swag.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, so the next thing for me we'd like to talk about is I'm quite looking forward to, because it's with friends again, is CV Summit in Zug. CV Summit in Zug, I'll just put that back on the screen, is 3-4 October in Zug. Here's some of the speakers. You can look at here: Polygon, Bitcoin Swiss, the mayor of City of Zug, Dominic's there from Definity. Crikey, serious? I don't know. Okay, there you go. Swissborg. Crikey, we can go on. Just some of the names there. Again, Chili's, Julien. Oh, bonjour, Julien. Ça va? Kamal from Hashgraph, Federa, Lily from Solana, Lucas from Safe. We could go on and on. There's loads of great people coming to that. There's a discount code of 15% in the links. Again, just Stefan talked, we are not getting any kickbacks. There's no referrals there. That's just for our friends. It's a community discount. We're going to be there. Great to see you there. So I thought I'd mention that. The thing I like about this, by the way, and the thing I also talked about last week with Web3 Fest, and also another event I went to, is that these smaller events, or I think we're starting to call boutique events, compared to some of the larger events with thousands, we have are great networking and quite intimate events. It's not like there's this big room where everyone's meeting and before they go on the stage and you can't go near them to the VIP. Like, everyone is wandering around. You're in a small kind of breakout meeting rooms with coffee and stuff like this, and later aperitifs and that. But you can, if one wants to, as long as you're not going to make a pain of yourself, you can go and talk to people. They're accessible. And you get more of a feeling for what's going on in the industry. And I really like, and in fact, CV Summit, I think last year was the first very small one that I remember going to, thinking, wow, that was great. Like, that was time well spent, great value. And after that, I went to more. And I'm not saying that the big ones, the Singapore and the Paris blockchains and all these big things, I'm not saying they're not, but these are completely different vibe, these boutique events. And if you're in the business and you've got objectives and things you want to do, they're great places to go to.
Yeah. And you can pretend you work for Marvel. And
oh, that's where we met. That's where we met.
Different.
Okay, tell the story how we met.
No. I'm telling this to everyone who's interested in person, because I don't want to stretch the time too much. But I have a question for you, Anton. So, where do we see you next? So, what conferences is it you attending, and what is the best way to get in contact with you if people have questions regarding the Swiss as a DAO or anything else that we have been touching today?
Awesome. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I think we will not see each other at the CV Labs conference, or how is it called?
Yeah, CV Summit. CV Summit. Yeah.
CV Summit.
Same people.
But similar people. But definitely, as you know, kind of the migration of all the crowd starts moving more towards the Middle East as the temperatures go down. Hopefully, Bitcoin prices go up as well. It will make it more fun. So we'll definitely see each other at kind of the group of events happening in October in Dubai, and I'll be speaking at some of them, which will be announced fairly soon. And where can people reach out to me? I'm very diligent trying to reply to people on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere, just not Telegram, because on Telegram I get like a million messages. So there,
Telegram's
you're really making it difficult for me. But anywhere else, I really try to reply to everyone. And I don't know, Stefan, if you saw it, I actually post quite a bit on social networks, on LinkedIn in particular, and I usually get thousands of messages, like literally thousands, and I made a promise to myself, I will freaking reply to everyone. So I'm doing that, and that's why I look so old, because you age as all of this stuff comes in.
I can tell you, Bill and I were 25.
Yeah, 25 plus, in my case, 23.
50 years in crypto, by the way.
Oh, that's like one of those job ads you see on LinkedIn. You need to have 20 years in crypto with experience in crypto assets. Yeah, okay. How long have you been in the business?
All of my life. Born doing crypto. I was born on a chain. No. Okay, no. So from my side, was a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
I guess we could have gone on and on, like
we could,
like for days, talking from everything, like we started like with the Swiss DAO, done into more like cultural, mental kind of stuff. For me was like pure fun. I have to say, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And remember, it's not Swiss fromage DAO or Swiss watch DAO or Swiss... What's the other one? Chocolate DAO. In fact, it could be, but right now it's Swiss Asset DAO.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anton.
Pleasure, guys. It was really awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Make sure to tune in next week, same time, same place. Might be shorter version than the 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45.
Plan is 15. Again, like thanks Anton for taking the time. Thanks everyone for staying with us.
If you
so
have.
long. Yeah, if you're still with us, we hope that you took something out for you. Love to hear have you back next week. Right?
And comments. Tag people in the comments if you've got questions. And as Anton says, like any one of us will try and get back to you as soon as we can.
Yeah, and bombard Anton if you need like discount code for all the events. He's speaking in Dubai.
Hit up Anton.
Yeah, just spam as well.
Spam Anton, everyone. Discount codes, referral codes, just spam. Yeah. Go for it.
Hashtag
Telegram.
At Anton.
Telegram won't work. It's like all of us. The only thing it only works if you go into a group where we're in, and then you tag us in the group, and then you see the thing, and you go, "Oh, what's that?" But DMs on Telegram do not work.
Yeah.
Yes. Difficult.
All right. On that note, we should cut it off. Thanks a lot. Thanks again, Anton. It's great having you.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure, guys. Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.